Adventurous Ape and Lost present
Apecoin DAO Space
92324
AIP-498 with Rida.
And that leads us to Rida. So Rida, for anybody that's not familiar in the community, if you don't mind, please, an introduction for yourself and a look at AIP-498, the DashBO UGC Platform, Democratizing Content Creation.
Yeah, and thanks for having me. Yeah, DashBO is a platform that we came up with to help users create content, 3D content, without having Blender knowledge or any 3D software. So the idea is when the 3D avatars were released, only a small percentage of the community was able to create content with their 3D models. And so we wanted everybody to enjoy them and create animations, poses, and different stuff for them, and making it as easy as possible.
Well, I mean, that's the short and the sweet of the pitch. I mean, Rida must have come from sales or something, because you can't make it much more simple than that. Maybe, Rida, since we have you here, and I mean, definitely since we have you here, if you don't mind, I think a lot of people in the community, and this is just objective, we say it at the beginning, right? We're not here to necessarily give support or tell anybody vote in any which way, but just objectively, the fucking community loves you, right? Like, we see it left, we see it right, I see it in the group chats, I'm seeing the tweets, I'm seeing people sharing the content, I'm seeing the way that you support the community. For anybody that's not familiar, would you just give us an introduction for yourself? What got you into this space? What led you to creating the DashBO platform?
Well, I got into the space during COVID mainly, but I used to run an advertising agency based in Dubai. And when things started closing up, I personally shifted into the space and automatically joined the NFT part of it, not the crypto side. I did some crypto, but mainly the NFT is what attracted me to it. And mainly because of the art and the community was the bigger part. So then we kept on doing that, content creation. I worked myself growing my team and kept on doing stuff, doing work, doing animations and doing stuff like that. And then we saw how everybody really enjoyed the content, and we wanted to, like our AIP is called, we wanted to democratize the content creation so that everybody can do it and that everybody can enjoy it like we do.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. The evolution that we've seen over the past few years and a few years in marketing, it seems to be continuing. I think we've come into this new sort of age over the past few years with shared content. They've got this peso model, and part of it is like it's this paid marketing and shared marketing, and there's all these different sorts of marketing. But the new one that's really come up is this idea that social media, right? You can get this PR naturally from the community. People engage with your products. They're sharing your products. They're showing them to people that they're close with their friends, with their family. It really just didn't exist before the last, 15, 20 years or so. The social media has really become so prolific. And now we're coming into this new model where people are really concerned about ownership and starting to be concerned and more aware about their data. And here you've got a business model that allows people to further, monetize, to create, to expand their brand, to create their brand, to create something here. And I want to just go through some of the different aspects that you put in your proposal, because there are so many different options for people. It might seem as though it's very ape-centric, but I see here that you are also looking at including various other IPs. Do you want to talk about some of the other communities that you're especially excited about including on this platform aside from the apes?
It's not strictly for the apes. It's for whichever community has 3D avatars that will be available. So when we get started, when we launch, we will have apes, Meebits, and hopefully some other communities that once they are on board. And that was the idea, was to onboard all the different communities onto DashBO, which gets everyone onto Ape Chain and the Apecoin ecosystem. So we are excited to add any community that will be interested. I think after all the communities see all the different content, the great content being created by the Meebits and the Ape community, we will have people joining and being on the platform.
Yeah, I love it. And I think one of the other things that you've done here that's pretty interesting, it's not just the NFT collections, but you're fitting them out, right? You're giving them, it says there's a merch tryout. So people are able to create clothing. It says here there's also going to be the ability for MBAs to somehow get involved. Do you want to talk a little bit and tell us a little bit about how the platform is going to go beyond just the avatars that we already have and that we already see, and what we're going to be able to create, whether it's merch or something specific or something new? If we're an MBA owner, an MBA business, maybe we've got a product product or something in this ecosystem? What does this mean for us?
All right, I just want to make a small correction. Merch tryout is you're actually fitting your ape or your avatar with official Yuga merch that has been launched since the first drop. So you can fit them with the merch and pose and animate using that merch while your ape is or your avatar is wearing that merch. That's the part for that. And hopefully we will be able to take all this merch, whether it's official Yuga merch or MBA merch, and hopefully take it to other site to be worn there. For now, it will be you can pose, you can animate, you can create animations while your ape is wearing the merch, whether it's official or MBA, and it will give you the option to inspect the merch itself or go find and buy it if it's an MBA brand, or at the same time, if it's an official merch, it searches eBay and StockX for any merch that is available there for sale.
It just feels so comprehensive. I mean, every step in here just seems to make sense, from the IP that you're integrating to expanding it to the things the owners of the IP are working on, i.e. the MBAs or the merch through the official companies. The one of the other bullet points that you have in here, it seems interesting to me, and I don't think we've really talked about it too much in our ecosystem. We've seen it floating around us, this idea of augmented reality. We talk about the metaverse a lot. We have discussions about it a lot in different spaces and different podcasts and different chats. And I'm not going to try to define the metaverse, but for me, it feels like AR is very much so in the bucket, in the domain of the metaverse. And you've got here as one of your deliverables this idea of real space AR. That already goes too much into technical creativity for me to even try to touch on. So can you just maybe explain for us a little bit what real space AR means and what it means for DashBO?
Okay, so any animation or any pose that you do on our platform, you will be able to actually use it in AR. So it's an additional channel of content where you can create animations with your avatar in a real space. So you can have them dancing on your table or dancing on the street, or you can do all kinds of stuff. It's just another channel to create content and an easy way to create content. It's pretty simple. You just point your phone, scan the code, and put your ape on real space.
This seems insane. Is this something that you've built, or do you have a pretty big team over there that's working with you that's going to help you to create this?
No, we have an amazing team. Allo, I think I see him down in the space. He's our main dev. We have a great team. We've put together, I think, an amazing product that everybody will enjoy and have fun. If you don't mind, I'd like to go back to a point that we mentioned before that we didn't get into, is the MBA testing and all that. We wanted to include all the different builders from this community. We modeled most of the products that are 100 and plus MBA brands we have on our platform, but the tryout part of the beers and the beverages and the foods and all the different stuff, we created poses that you can go and pose with, let's say, Ape Water or Board Closet, or and you can pose, animate, and do stuff with that brand. At the same time, it helps the user create different content on a daily basis. And at the same time, it helps the other brands, the MBA brands, with exposure, so that any render you do with an MBA brand, it comes with a footer with the website of the MBA brand, the license number, and you can go there and check all the stuff out as well. So it's different channels and everybody benefits. DashBO gets more content creation, more tools. The user gets more tools to play with. He can do, let's say it's one animation. He can today pose it with specific merch. Tomorrow he does it with a different product. And it's everybody wins. The whole ape ecosystem, and the user gets to create fun content. The brand gets exposure, and the IP is being used across the board. Everybody's using their IP, and their IP is getting the exposure that everybody wants.
I love it. I mean, I think it's genius. One of my favorite things in this ecosystem has been creating derivatives, is maybe not the right word, but it is also just technically the right word. The derivatives of our apes that all of these amazing artists are able to create. I think of Murav and Javi, probably they come to mind first. Allo has the board closet as well. We've had so many other different platforms or people that have come around and helped to create new art for our apes over the time. And this almost feels like, it seems like the 3D, the other side, the next iteration of that, except rather than having to go and hit up the different artists and ask them to make, this MBA product and then apply it to our apes, which from my understanding, takes a lot of work whenever Javi and Marav go and they create a new pose or a new GM mug or something that we all go and get to enjoy. They have to recreate the ape traits in a way that makes sense for that bot. And if we're able to go into this platform and in a way do it for ourselves, I mean, this almost seems to remove a crazy amount of friction from our ecosystem to getting where we ultimately want to be, which is being able to put out all of this different, I mean, taking the word right out of your title, the user generated content. Am I missing something, or does somebody on the other end have to sort of help when we're creating these different products, these MBA products that are going to be available for people to display?
No, the MBA products, we are onboarding free of charge to all the MBA builders. We've modeled a lot. I can't give you an exact number, but we've modeled and textured and done all the modeling free of charge for the community. And not all brands are modeled. Like, we have some brands that are music labels or music production houses, but we've added their music in the background. So the user can, when he does animations, he can put audio, whether he can upload his own audio or he can use audio from the community, or music from the community. So we attempted to include as many as possible, as physically possible, and we will be onboarding everybody else as we go along. So whether one of them is apparel, so we will start doing the clothing, we will model the clothing. We pretty much have, I think, all the different products that are, we used to think we have them all, but we've seen so many builders, it's unbelievable. Once you take this journey of trying to onboard all the MBAs, you realize the amazing community you're a part of, and gives you more motivation to keep on going and adding more. Because I have seen things I never thought existed. I've seen socks, I've seen boxers, I've seen yoga pants, I've seen beers, I've seen everything. It's amazing how many builders are in this community.
You are preaching to the choir, my friend. It's exactly why I'm so excited to host this space every Monday, every other Monday. We've been doing this for damn near 2 years, over 2 years now, and it's because of exactly what you said. Every week, without fail, there's somebody incredible from our community with at least an idea, if not an amazing, wonderful, great idea, like so many of the people that we've seen over the past couple of months. And I'm saying that from a place of objectivity. And I have to say that because if I don't, Adventurous Ape she'll cut me. She'll cut me in the back channel. She will message me during the stage to let me know that I'm messing up, but I'm not. This time, 12 gauge, that one of our key facilitators back there in the back office, making sure all these proposals are getting up into our visibility on Snapshot, along with Chris, Cryptologically. If you guys aren't aware of our facilitator team, those are two of the guys along with myself. 20 approved AIPs in Q3 this year, which is the most in any given quarter since Q3 of 2023. So just objectively, the fucking community is cooking. Then objectively, the facilitators are cooking, right? I mean, like, there have been so many changes to the processes of the DAO. There have been so many improvements to the way that authors are being communicated to, and you're seeing it reflected immediately in the numbers. People in this ecosystem like numbers, and time after time, again, this team, the facilitator team, has got the numbers to back up the work that's being done. And time again, we see up on the stage people coming out of the community and putting up incredible ideas, bringing the sentiment back to this DAO that we just have not had over the past 2 years. And you're seeing it now on the timeline. I feel like I am going to go into a super bullish, crazy speech if I keep going. So I'm going to give it to Adventurous Ape now, because I know she's got some maybe tougher questions to throw into the mix here. So please, Adventurous Ape, if you don't mind.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for being here, Rida. As someone who tried to teach themselves Blender when we got our Ape 3D models, this is very welcome. Because Blender has a steep learning curve. So I think it's great to see a tool for like your average person who doesn't have those skills can still like utilize their 3D models in a way that is more accessible. But I do have some questions as well. First of all, one of them, you were talking about, working with MBA businesses, which is awesome. But I was wondering if you plan on expanding that to like maybe businesses that are like the BBAC, the built by Apecoin companies, or maybe businesses, that have had their AIPs passed, that might not necessarily, be an ape.
Yeah, no, we don't stopping at MBAs, and we'd like to include even Web2 brands on here, where brands can show their products and let people pose with their products and create content with their products. So more than welcome. If you can find me a directory, I can contact them and start onboarding others as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Great to hear. The other thing you had said, there's so many tools that I saw you had with this. You said, not only can they have the different poses and animations, and you already talked a little bit about the AR experiences, but you said there'd be dynamic face filters and, avatars for games or the metaverse. And then you also had said that there'd be some free content creation tools as well as additional premium tools. So which things would fall under like the free tools and which would be premium?
All the tools are free of charge, but some content, let's say we launch a premium only 100 animations type of thing, where only 100 of these animations will be ever created. So that's how we call it premium, or a more complicated render. And at the same time, we don't want it to be too expensive. We just want it to be a few credits, which transfer to one Apecoin to one credit. We want people creating content. We don't want people to not create content because of the price range. But at the same time, we want to give the option of exclusivity and uniqueness and that type of thing. All the tools are free. It's just content is a bit of a premium just so that we can get some more exclusive stuff.
Awesome. Could you talk a little more then about, you said that users will have the ability to use Apecoin to purchase DashBO credits. That will be your off-chain currency. Could you explain a little more about what those are and how they will work?
Like I said, we have them in 3 different packages of 100 Apecoin, 200 Apecoin, and 300 Apecoin, and it buys you credit to use for these premium content.
All right. And with these different bundles, it did say that they had specific expiry durations, but so if someone doesn't use the credits and they buy in time, do they lose those credits?
That was the idea initially, but we might have to rethink that so that there is no expiry on those credits. But like I said, it's just to drive content creation.
All right. And so you say that it's going to be built on ApeChain. So how will ApeChain be integrated into this?
That's why I wanted my allo to be up here. He would be the better person to answer that question. If I can get him up here, I'm trying to ping him. But at the same time, I'd like to go back to a point you raised earlier about the files. If you've noticed right now, Dookie Dash, for example, or Nifty Island, or the different metaverses that come out, or the different games that come out, each have a specific format and a different file sizes and all that. Through our system, we've rigged them in a way that you can generate new models as per the game or the different tools that are become available in the future.
Oh, that's great. That's one thing, that interoperability is so important in this space, to be able to use our assets across these different metaverses and stuff.
Before we go on to the next question, we actually got Allo up, so maybe he might be able to touch in a little bit more on your question about how ApeChain is involved and what the integration might look like as ApeChain is coming live soon, TM.
Yeah, that would be great. Hi, Allo.
Hello, can you hear me all? So yeah, the ApeChain integration, like while I touched on the point, we're going to be able to purchase off-chain credits with Apecoin, and this way is like we do make a payment gateway that introduces like the payment option on ApeChain, right? So you only can use the Apecoin on ApeChain to purchase this off-chain credits. And yeah, that's like the ApeChain integration. We're looking into other options as well to unlock exclusive content like the premium content. And yeah, that's about it for the ApeChain part for the AIP proposal. But there could be future things as well, right?
Just since we got Allo as a special guest, I've now been inspired to ask just an extra question about ApeChain. Have you been messing with the testnet at all, Allo?
Yes, a little bit when I have time for it, right? I'm building something on my own as well, and it's actually I'm announcing it in 20 minutes, launching my plushies, and they are also on ApeChain. There's like an NFT chip built into them, and you mint the NFT on ApeChain, and then like yeah.
ApeChain is coming for everybody. We're coming for everybody and everything that is being built in this ecosystem. We want it on ApeChain. Allo, we all kind of know, I think, maybe not all, but I think a lot of people in the community know you're a dev. I mean, it's in your name, right? It's dev_Allo. It's the guy's screen name. What has your experience been building on ApeChain in comparison to other chains that you work on?
Honestly, I would say ApeChain, because it's very new, it's a bit difficult to get into, right? there's not many tools around yet, but that's normal, right? I expect it to be really cool in the future. A lot of tools already actually, and more tools coming out for devs to build on chain. And yeah, I mean, it's very easy to transfer from another chain like Ethereum or Optimism or whatever that is on like other layer 2s, right? The the code you can pretty much copy paste, especially because of the ZK and all things, right? It's the best ecosystem to have on Arbitrum. Like there isn't a better place for ApeChain actually.
Love it. Love it. Right. You can just kind of spin chains up pretty quickly. But that determining factor, that real qualifier is who's going to be there. We're talking about ape chain. We got a bunch of fucking apes in the room. And every time the apes show up and do something, everybody looks over. Everybody gets excited. Everybody gets interesting. Maybe a little bit of value is being created. Maybe a lot of value is being created. All right, Adventurous Ape. I think I went deep enough into the ape chain tunnel. If we go too far into the ape chain tunnel, this will become the ape chain space, and we're not doing that one today. Although we're due for an ape chain space very soon. So please, AA.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you, Ella. That's very helpful. I do have another question. As far as for Rida, you said that there would be a community leaderboard as part of this. Could you go into more how that would work?
Yeah, we wanted to encourage people to create content. We will try to create a sort of a leaderboard of the most shared content and the most retweeted content, that type of thing, to create some form of community leaderboard to create more engagement type of thing. And hopefully we'll be rewarding them with on-chain our credits so that we encourage more usage and more content to be created with.
Awesome, thank you. So then you also say 10% of gross revenue from sales will go to the Apecoin DAO treasury. Do you have a forecast on how much revenue you believe that will be coming in?
Unfortunately, I do the 3D stuff, not do calculations and projections. But our main goal is content creation. But any revenue we will be rev sharing with the DAO.
Awesome, thank you. And then I believe this is a long-term thing for you, with DashBO. Are there any new features or functionalities that you are thinking about including in the future?
Yes, we are actually testing out a new feature where it creates actual videos, like long videos that can be shared as GIFs and different types of animations. Most of the features, I really don't do it justice by talking. And I would love to showcase or demo maybe on one of these spaces how easily it's done and the different types of content that I can be created on here. We also want to add a feature because we're rendering all 10,000 apes. We want to create a feature where you can download wallpapers and for your phone, for your desktop, and that type of stuff. But we will keep on adding features and cool content as we go along. We're here for the long run, and we want to succeed, and we want to let people create as much content as possible.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I definitely think if anyone hasn't checked out, it definitely, you need to see this to really truly appreciate what can be done here. It's very hard to express, get the full picture just through talking about it. So, check it out, definitely. It's very cool. So what potential risks or challenges do you foresee, and how do you plan to mitigate them?
For now, to be honest, I don't see a risk. We have a great relationship with most of the community, and we're supported by everyone in here and everybody in the community. I think the only risk is if we get too big and our servers have to get bigger and bigger. I think that is the only risk.
That's a good problem to have, I'd say. Well, thank you very much, Rida. Is there anything else that you didn't get a chance to talk about that you'd like to mention?
Yes, if anyone would like a demo, my DMs are open. I can give a demo to anybody or everybody that wants to see it live. My DMs are open. We can schedule some time and I can demo it.
Awesome, thank you. Lost, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get in there. I'm ready to get into all of these platforms. I'm ready to get into all of these platforms on ApeChain. I'm seeing things are starting to stack up. I'm seeing things are starting to align. We just got an announcement pretty recently that the Macbeth team is going to put some content into Dookie Dash. So I can only imagine what sort of cool things we're going to get as people from the community are able to craft and create their own in-game digital items. I mean, I feel like this is why a lot of us from the gaming world got into this place, so that we could start to own our identity. Maybe if we're good, maybe if we're talented, maybe if we're popular, we're able to somehow monetize that. Maybe we're able to somehow proliferate our identity. Maybe we're able to share that in some way. And it feels like we're not there yet, but we're a couple steps away. We're a couple of those tools that Allo was talking about that aren't there yet, where if we just plug a few of those in, we're going to be in a very, very, very fun, cool place that we really have never seen ever, not just in this ecosystem. I've been gaming since fucking too long. I'm going to dox myself if I say how long I've been gaming. Long enough to know that we've never been in this. We've never had this. There's never been an opportunity like this in the gaming industry where you can actually crack in as a player, as a user, as somebody without a major backing, and actually make an impact. You can actually change the way that people are gaming right now. There are so many novel things that are coming out. Rida, what's up? You got your hand up. Don't throw your hand up like that at me. Just interrupt me. Stop me.
No, I just wanted to thank the facilitators for their patience and for their assistance in walking us through this. It was my first AIP, and they made the process very easy to go through.
100% shout out to the facilitators, 12 Gauge, Chris, Cryptologically, myself. It's been over 2 years for myself. Chris and 12 are coming up on their 1-year anniversary as having provided service for this DAO, and we continue to look for improvements to make and ways to better communicate with the community and to provide the sort of transparency and attentiveness that everybody here deserves. Everybody here maybe doesn't need it, but we definitely deserve it. We've been here for a long time. We're like family. We're like friends. When we go to these events, it really shows up, and it needs to be present in all of our organizations as well from the top. Adventure Safe, I think you've gone through all of your questions, right? If you didn't have anything else to mention, all I can say for people is this thing is live. I mean, you can go to Rida's profile right now and you can check the platform out yourself. You can go to apecoin.com right now. You click discussions up at the top and read through the proposal. It's complex. It is complex. This is a business proposal and there's a lot of information there. So if you're reading through it, it is a bit complex. I'll just be honest, but you can just go and use the platform. You can try it out for yourself. If you're more of a visual learner, you want to feel your way around, you can go in there yourself. What's up?
Sorry, it's not live, but I can demo if anybody would like to see it.
I lied. It's not live. He's giving us access. It's live if you ask. It's live if you ask.
Yes.
All right,
if you would like to test it with your ape, feel free to DM me and I can show you how it's done and how it can be used and how easily everybody can create content with it.
I got way excited there. I'm ready for it to be live. I've seen it in action and you can see it in action too. Just tap in with Rida, send him a message and he will be happy to help you. And I mean, how many of these different brands did you say you've already onboarded the MBAs?
It was 110 plus last Friday.
Insane.
But we do add on a daily, so I need to keep track of it with a tracker or something. But
absolutely insane.
That's only last on the Garga tweet. He said it was 400 plus MBAs, so that's our goal to get all 400 plus on here.
I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. I am a collector of skins. I am a collector of things. I'm a collector. That's one of the reasons that I've got so many things in my wallet. They may not all be visible to me, but you guys can go and look at my wallet and see all the things that I've collected. I've got collective in my name. There's a lot of collectorness just inherent in me, and I almost just can't help myself. Like I had to delete the Dookie Dash game because I had to focus on work, and I was literally just gonna sit there and play, and I was gonna just keep downloading skins. I'm gonna re-download it. I mean, it's not gone. It saves your progress, but I gotta turn it off. I had to look away for a second because they just keep introducing stuff. I mean, there's just so many things to collect, and that inner collector in me is definitely being triggered by all of these new implications, all these new games in our ecosystem. All right, Rida, was there anything else that you wanted to share before we go? And I see we actually have Dim up here, so I want to give him some time as well. I know I said that we would do the Rida exclusive, but we've got Dim, and we'll get a chance to hear from him today too.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. And Dim is amazing as well.
Love it.
Powered by Dixo and Apecoin.